What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to the final part of Microlocs 101. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about your maintenance routine. So this is after your consultation, after your installation, and now you're thinking, what next? What do I need to do to make sure I maintain my hair properly? How often am I supposed to retie? How often should I wash? I need help, and please help me answer these questions. And that is exactly what we're going to do in today's video. So as always, I have my iPad to have my notes to make sure I don't forget anything, and we're going to get right started with this video. So first I wanted to talk about washing and your retightenings. So in the beginning of you getting your microlock extensions, or just microlocks in general, it is personal preference how often you want to maintain your hair. But for me personally, and what I recommend to my clients, is that you go once a month in the beginning. So for the first maybe 6 months, I would say 3 to 6 months, I say go every month. The reason being is because if there is an issue, or if there's slippage, or if there's thinning, or if you have any kind of problems, it'll be much easier to fix early in the beginning before your hair fully matures than after. Because if you wait too long, then you could possibly run into your hair being further along in the locking process, which means you have to comb through the matting and things like that. Whereas in the beginning, it's easier to just untwist or unbraid and fix the problem right then and there. So in the very beginning, I do recommend getting your retightenings once a month. Now, after that time period, you can stretch it for as long as you want. I know people go 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. I mean, it's personal preference. You can do whatever you want. Me personally, I do mine probably every 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes I push it off to 7, but I usually never make it to 8, or if I am at 8, I have never been past 8 because my new growth is crazy and I will be ripping and pulling out my hair if I wait that long. So again, that will be personal preference. And also, washing is also personal preference, and with the help of your stylist, you can be able to get the perfect wash routine specifically for your hair. With me and my routine, what I do is I like to retie my hair and then wash it afterwards, because washing your hair after your retie loosens it up. And I know that may sound bad to some of y'all because, of course, you want your maintenance routines and your reties to last longer. That's not the case for me. I do my own maintenance, so I can do it whenever it is that I please, and I just simply don't want it super duper tight on my scalp. So I need that water to come in and loosen my hair up. So you could either wash before or after your maintenance routine, or your maintenance, and then that'll help you gauge on the best routine for you. Now, and it's also recommended when you wash to braid and band. Now, I'm going to insert a clip at some point after this to show you how I prep my hair when I wash it. And this is always after I get a retie. This clip, it may be a little bit older, but this is how I prep my hair for a wash day. And another tip that I didn't mention in the video yet is when you are doing these sections for your braids, make sure it's very loose at the top, because the point is to get your scalp really, really clean without having to put so much tension on your extensions. Because as we know, wet hair is very heavy and we don't need that extra weight pulling on the extensions, possibly causing additional or even first time slippage. So be very careful with that and make sure that you have loose braids when you're doing this process. So in that clip, you saw how I prep my hair. And as far as products and washing, there's not really a specific product. I say when you have locks, locks are very forgiving, and you can be very lenient with your hair when you have locks, because it's not so specific about, oh, you have to have this ingredient, this ingredient, that ingredient. It's always best to have a clarifying shampoo of any kind, really, when you're washing your hair with locks. I know that's controversial. I know some people may get upset with that. Please do not put that in the comments. It's not necessary. But you want to make sure your hair is as squeaky clean as possible. I've even seen influencers and people use Dawn dish soap to wash out their hair, because it breaks down all the oils, the grime, and the dirt, and it leaves you with the cleanest scalp and hair possible. And that is what you need. You need your scalp and hair to be absolutely clean and free of product, to avoid the molds and the smells and all those scary things that you hear about having locks and having the bugs and, you know, all those crazy things that we've seen in social media in the past. That's how you avoid all of that. So definitely make sure you have a clarifying shampoo. And if you want to condition your hair, that's another thing that's personal preference. You don't need to in that sense, but once your hair matures, so like maybe after the first year, if you want to incorporate a rinse out conditioner, then that is perfectly fine. But remember, we don't want to put too many products in our extensions and in our Microlocs in the very beginning, because that's going to lead to a lot of unraveling. It's going to make our hair too soft, and it's already soft. So we don't want to have that slip out or have any issues with the slowing down of the locking process. So just be very, very mindful when you're putting those kind of products in your hair. And so the next topic will be moisture. Now, I've talked about my moisture routine in my videos several times now, so I know y'all already know what I use. I use the As I Am Jamaican Black Castor Oil water. I spray my hair daily, sometimes multiple times a day. I don't have a specific schedule or time when I do it. I just do it whenever I need to style my hair, or whenever I leave the house, or just whenever I need to. But here lately, since my hair has matured, and I don't know if it's pregnancy or what it is, but my hair has been looking and feeling like it just needs a little bit more. So I did go in and have one of my old As I Am spray bottles, and I put maybe one squeeze of leave-in conditioner, and I filled the rest of the bottle up with hot water, and I shook it up, and that's kind of like a little moisture spritz. I don't know if it's enough conditioner to actually do anything, but in my mind it works. So that's another tip. Later on, when your hair matures and when you're running into these problems, like you feel your hair should be more shiny or softer or some of these things, and it's just not looking and feeling like it did before, try adding a little bit of moisture, because that's the point I am at in my lock journey. And again, stay away from that if you're in the beginning. And another thing that I wanted to address is oils. Now, we know oils help our hair. Our hair naturally produces these oils. We don't have to do anything to have oils. It's just naturally gonna be there. But when you're putting extra oils in your hair, I think you should just make sure you're being really mindful. Because me personally, I don't put any extra oils on my scalp other than in my oil mixture, because super duper oily hair, it repels moisture. So if your hair is full of oils, it is just not getting moisturized. It's going to be dry, it's going to be itchy, it's going to be crunchy, and all these things, because it's completely covered in oil. And the water and the moisture is not able to penetrate that oil. So be very careful when you're trying to oil your scalp. I would only recommend oiling it right after you wash, just so you can start that process of getting your natural oils and everything going. And after that, don't use it at all, or use it at very, very minimum. But it's your hair. You're welcome to do whatever it is you want with your hair. That is just my preference for myself, and that is what I recommend to my clients. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is be gentle with your hair. You know, your hair, the locking process is something that is very, sometimes really difficult. And it's not always fun. It's not always pretty. And sometimes you just want to rip it out and shave your head and start all over because it's just not giving what you wanted to give. So like, just be nice to yourself and be nice to your hair. Y'all are both on this journey together, and y'all are both going through changes. You're going to change emotionally and mentally. Your hair is going to change physically. Your chemistry, your hair chemistry is going to change. Everything's going to be completely different. So you have to give yourself time and grace to be able to embrace the journey. And that's whether you have extensions or not having extensions, and you just have your natural hair. In either way, it's perfectly great and fine. There's no, you don't have to get extensions, and you don't have to wear your real hair if you don't want to. It's just up to you. So definitely give yourself grace. Take your vitamins and make sure you are sleeping with a satin bonnet or pillowcase or a scarf every single night. No exceptions. There is no exceptions for it being 2024 and we are still not sleeping with a satin bonnet or pillowcase or scarf. It's non-negotiable, honey. You just need to do it. It protects your hair. It stops the lint from the pillows or the blankets or, you know, things from getting in your hair when you're sleeping at night. And I know some people say, oh, it falls off, it slips off. Everybody has gone through that process. We've all been there. We've all had the issue where our bonnet falls off or our scarf falls off. Honey, you just have to keep trying until you find one or find a method that works for you. Personally, it took me some years, not until I got into college, actually. So I mean, it took me a long time until my freshman year in college to be able to have a full night's sleep without my bonnet or my scarf falling off. And it's just about the way you tie it and what's comfortable and then what works for you. My bonnet is like just a slip-on little bonnet. It doesn't have a tie or it doesn't have a band or anything. It probably costs $2 at Walmart. Nothing fancy at all. And my scarf, the same thing. I just like put it over and tie it in the front because I don't like it in the back because it kind of like hurts the nape of my neck and it gives me headaches. So you're just gonna have to play around with it to try to find the one that works best for you. But please do not sleep on that cotton pillow. No. We are not gonna do that. But that is the end, guys. That is all that I have for your maintenance routines and wash routine and different types of tips like that. As always, you know, if you have any more questions, leave them in the comment section and I will always get back to you. And I read every single comment, and even if I don't personally respond to you, it could be in the next video. So definitely keep your notifications on and look out for my next post. But thank you for joining me on in this course. I hope that this is helpful for you. As I mentioned earlier, this is the last video, and I hope you're going to be able to get the install of your dreams that you really want. And I'll see you guys next time.